Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is MS Collections. Thank you for stopping by. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing us how to make this beautiful style you can see here. Okay, it's a style that has been trending and I thought to replicate the style, so I'll be showing us how to come about it. The video is divided into two because it's lengthy, so this is the part one that captures the pattern drafting and the cutting of the style. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos. Okay, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to share and we'll move right into the tutorial. Okay, so over the cutting table I have my pattern paper and I have 1/2 inch drawn at the top of the paper that will serve as my shoulder line. I've gone ahead to mark off my shoulder plus 1/2 inch allowance, and then I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. Next up I will be my neck. I have a width of 2.5 inches for my neck width, and I went ahead to connect to my shoulder line. Then the next thing I'll be doing will be to come up 1/2 inch for seam allowance, and I'll go ahead and mark as well. Okay, so from that point I'll be taking my armhole length. You can get your armhole length by dividing your bust by 6 plus 1.5 inch, and then I'm going ahead to get the length from the 1/2 inch so that I can draw across my paper. That will be serving as my chest length. The next thing I'll be doing will be to locate my other measurements. The next one will be my bust point, which I have marked there as 10.5, the under bust, which is 14 inches, then the waist line is 19 inches, and I'll go ahead and get the measurement at the other side, and then I'll mark a straight line across. Okay, so I also went up by 2 inches. I kind of was contemplating this because of the gown. The gown is where the wrap falls off, so I was kind of contemplating coming up by 2 inches from my waistline, so I have it a little bit higher, but somewhere along the line I just decided to maintain my waistline. So that's it. So I have my label. I've labeled my lines: the chest line, the bust point, half cut, and my waistline. Now the next thing I'm going ahead to do is to create my armhole, and you can see the way I'm doing. I've connected the lines, and then I'm going ahead to mark the middle point of my armhole line. I'll come out by 1/2 inch, and I'll use my pattern ruler to create my armhole. The first armhole is for my back piece, the second armhole is for my front. Of course, we know that the back is usually wider than the front. So next up, I'll be going to impute my bust wideness. The client's bust wideness is 7 inches. So I decided to add 1/2 inch to the bust wideness to make it 4 inches. Okay, so that's what I did. And then next thing you're seeing me marking is where I want my blouse to begin from, or my gown to be the top of my gown to begin from. Okay, it's a bustier blouse, so I want this should be the starting point. So from the shoulder I came by 5.5 inches, that's 5.5, and then I marked my bust wideness at that top, and I'm going ahead to connect. So next thing you'll see me do, I went by 1 inch on both sides to connect. That's on my half cut and the other, let me just say waistline, because I later extended the line. So from your half cut to your waistline, just go 1 inch on both sides and then connect as you see me do. I also came to the top. So as you can see at this top, I was trying to determine the width for where my bustier line will reach, as you can see me doing the video. So I used 4.5 inches at that top, and that's it. So this is me extending the line to my waistline. Okay, so this is what it looks like. The next thing was, at the center point, I just took in half inch and blended it to the bust, and this was in order to avoid gaping. So the next thing I'm going over to do is to take that intake at the top, and from that 4.5 I took 2 inches. Okay, so I took 2 inches from that point to the other side, and I went ahead to connect as you see me do. And then it was time to create my neckline, and I decided to go in by half inch. Okay, so remember I marked 2.5 inch the first time as the neckline, so I decided to adjust it going by half inch. And as you can see, when I was done, I wasn't comfortable with my curve, so I decided also to go in, that is from the starting point of the blouse. I also went in by half inch, so that I could get a better curve, or should I say the desired curve that I wanted. And I went ahead to also correct that line, as you can see. Okay, so this is it. This is what I have in the video, and because I extended, I had to also extend the line of the bust part. So I've gone ahead to make the necessary adjustments and cancel the unnecessary lines. Okay, so this is what we have. Next thing, I'm also going ahead to replace the 2 inches I took at the top. I'm going ahead to replace it at the armhole line, so I don't have any shortages when I'm done sewing. Okay, and so basically this is it, guys. The next thing will be to impute the measurement of the client. The client bust is 38 inches, so I've gone ahead to mark that, plus the allowance I took for the bustier, 1 inch. That's I measured, I lost 1 inch, and I went ahead to replace 1.5 inch allowance. For the waist the waist is 32 inches, but I want to snatch it. I want it to come down to 28 inches. So I lost 2 inches when I was drafting the bustier. So instead of replacing 2 inches, I replaced just 1 inch plus my 1.5 inch allowance. So losing 2 inches and replacing just 1 inch means I ran shortage of 1 inch, and of course that would bring my waist to 28 inches, because when you're losing 1 inch in a dress folded into 4, it means you have lost 4 inches. Okay, so this is it, guys. I'm done cutting. I'm done cutting the sides over to the bustier part, and you can see the way I'm cutting it, so just follow. So my center piece is secure, cutting my side piece and then my neckline. Okay, guys, so this is what we have for the front piece. Then we'll be going over to the back. Now for the back, because it's going to have corset loops, I'll be using just the side piece of the front to cut the back. I'll not be adding the center piece for the back. The entire center piece will be taken off so that the loops will come in. Okay, and this is what we have, guys. That is it. It's just that simple. Just cut excluding the bust. Now the for the neckline, or for the shoulder line, just watch what I'm doing. I placed it, remember it was 3 inches width, so I just added about 3/4 inch allowance, just for overlapping of the band after the neck. And then I went down, I marked my neck 2 inches, then I went down by 1.5 inch, and I'm going ahead to connect as you see me do. Just in case you do not understand or you are lost, just take the video back a little and you can see what I've done there. Next thing will just be to cut off. It's very simple, guys. Personally, I just have a way or find a way of using my front pieces to cut my back so that I don't have to redraft. And it's been very convenient and easy, no challenges, so I usually like to stick to that. And we can see what we have here. Our back piece is ready, as we can see. Now please take note that this pattern, I've gone ahead to put all the allowance I need for this pattern, all the allowance. The only place that doesn't have the allowance, which I'll be adding when I'm cutting the fabric, is the shoulder part. Okay, now I have my satin fabric here. Next thing I'll be doing will be to mark the skirt part. Okay, now because it's a gown, I started measuring from 18 inches. Remember the waist is 19 inches, so I just started by 18 inches to serve as allowance for the top, and I'm going ahead to mark. The last line I have is the gown length. The next line I have is my hip, my knee length, and my gown length. That's all I need for the skirt. So I'm going ahead to mark my hip plus 1.5 inch allowance. So whatever I have on my hip, I subtracted 1, marked on the knee length, also subtracted 1 from my knee length, and marked on the skirt length. And do not forget that my waist is 32. The client's waist is 32, but I used 28 inches for the skirt because we snatched the waist, and you can see how obvious it's looking. And then I went ahead to connect to the skirt. That's that for the front piece. Go ahead and cut. Also, because it's going to be an overwrap, there will be no need. The dart is going to be optional. I didn't use the dart for this skirt. So next off, this is the front piece. I placed on another fabric fold, and I left 1 3/4 inch allowance for the zipper allowance. And you can see I came from the base of the skirt, I came up by 20 inches. That will serve for the slit. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my butt allocation. Now from my hip side, I added 1/2 inch. So my zipper allowance is 1 inch, 1 inch on the waist, 1 inch on the slit, but for the hip I added 1/2 inch. Okay, so that 1/2 inch I added is to enable our butt sit inside properly. So we are going to create that butt shape at the zipper allowance, because you know your back side is not straight. And then I'm going ahead to connect the slit down to the base of the skirt. Okay, so this is just me giving my slit a slanty shape, and we are done. Okay, so because I added extra 1/2 inch at the hip side of the skirt, I went ahead to subtract just 1/4 inch from the side of the skirt, okay, so that we don't have it excess. So I added hip side, I added 1/2 inch at the hip side, and I subtracted 1/4 inch by the sides so that everything is balanced up. My hip remains 42 inches. And by this method, you know that the back side is going to be bigger than the front, of course, which is supposed to be. Go ahead and cut when you are done, as you see me do. Okay guys, so this is it. The next thing, I've gone my skirt folded into the front piece. I opened the satin fabric and I just placed it. Notice that I want to draft the shape, you know, for the over wrap, that the wrapper overlap you see on the style. So no, just watch what I'm doing. Notice that I'm working with the good side of the satin fabric. I just placed half side and then cut the same shape of the skirt. That's the skirt front piece folded into two. Okay, so that's it. Now the next thing, I want to create those curves on the side of the skirt. The curves appeared at the side and at the sleeves. Okay, but because I want mine to be more pronounced, my curves were deeper. So if you do not want yours to be much pronounced, you can make your curves smaller, but mine was deeper. The midpoint was 2.5 inches on both sides, and it entered inside by 3 inches. I hope you get what I'm saying. Just in case you do not understand, you can take the video back and watch how I measured it. Okay, so this is it. I'm going ahead to replace. I'm using this paper to for sample, so that I'll just, you know, paste on my material when I'm done. Okay, so 2 is enough. If you want to do to the end of the paper, fine, but 2 is enough for me to get what I want. So the next thing I did was I came down by 1 inch. Okay, please, I want you to take note that when I was cutting this particular part, I added 1 inch at the top because, of course, you know it's a wrapper overlap, so it needs to come up a bit. So that 1 inch I added, I just went ahead to mark the straight line so that the curves will begin after that 1 inch at the top. Please do not forget to add extra 1 inch at the top when you are cutting the wrapper overlap. So I'm using this pattern to go ahead and, you know, cut at the side of my satin fabric. Now I did this all the way down to the end, and if you notice, this is just half. Okay, it's supposed to be, the wrapper is supposed to carry it's supposed to be the full width of the front piece, but this is just half. So I ended up using this half as the lining. I cut another one. You, in the process of the video, you see as I'm going to do, but this particular part I use it to cut another satin fabric for which the lace will be sitting on top, and then this part I attach lining to the sides to complete it, and I use it to turn the fabric. Okay, so this is what we have. Can you see how it's looking? It's looking fine and good. So I went ahead to take this off the table, and then I spread out my satin fabric again. Then this time, this is my front piece on the satin fabric opened. Okay, so the front piece is opened now, and then I'm going ahead. Do not forget I left 1 inch at the top, so I went ahead to mark the side shape. Okay, before doing that, I brought this half part and placed on it so that I can get the accurate length, because I'll be using the length of this half part. So I cut the side shape. The video didn't capture that, but I was just cutting the side shape. Afterwards, I shifted the curved part, the curved design, I shifted it to the other edge, as you see me do, and then I took off the main skirt. I took it off, and then I'm just following these. I'm just making the exact patterns on the satin fabric. It's just very simple, guys. Very, very simple. If you can follow closely, you understand what I did. Okay, so that's that. The next thing will be for my sleeves. as you can see me do. I'm marking my sleeves, the sleeve length, or you want it to be, go ahead and mark it. And then I came down by 5 inches from my bicep, and I'm creating my armhole curve. From that point, I measured my elbow length. I came down by 10 inches, just a bit above my armhole, and then I subtracted 1 inch from what I have on the bicep. I subtracted 1 inch because the sleeve is not fitted, it's a little bit free, so I just subtracted 1 inch, and then I connected. It looks like an A-shaped sleeve. Okay, some people call it a trumpet sleeve, so but you can watch what I'm doing. Make sure the edges are curved, and make sure that the edges are also blended at the elbow length. So next off, as my pattern paper is also here. Remember I said the curve appeared on the sleeves as well, so I'm going ahead to create the curves on the sleeve, and that'll be that, guys. Next thing will be to cut out and recreate for the second sleeve. Okay guys, so if you've come this far and you like what you've seen, please do not forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I drop the part 2 of this video. You wouldn't want to miss that. The part 2, I'll be showing us how I sewed and the final look of the dress. Okay, so yes, that's it. Thank you for watching up to this point. At this point, I'm going ahead to cut my second sleeve, and all these would, with the pattern, I'll be working with a lace, which I'll show us right now. This is the lace fabric I'll be working with, so please stay tuned so you get notified when I upload a new video. Thank you for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.